Happy Aquarius season. I feel very inspired, and to me, this is very inspiring astrology. I tend to frame everything that way, but I want to make it clear that's just not being like delusionally optimistic. There's energies, frequencies, there's certain patterns, the astrology, the numerology, and as most of you know, I go a lot deeper into the numerology, and that uncovers something completely different, like the 217. Whatever the astrology is, you could totally take it in a negative way. I'm going to touch on the negative because I don't know that the collective will handle this so well. But for us, we should be like really amped, inspired, and ready to go and ready to change. Fundamentally, Aquarius is the sign of change. As of recording this, we just Sun entered Aquarius. But what's coming up in a few days, Mars is moving into Aquarius very soon and will be conjunct Pluto and the Sun, and Mercury is right there. And then Venus is close enough. There's a whole plethora of asteroids too. There's a lot of Aquarius happening at the start of this Aquarius season, but Mars and Pluto, regardless of sign, when those two planets conjunct, it's very intense. It's very volatile. It is often activates wars, but what's it going to activate in you? Do I think we could see world violence? Yeah, probably. We're probably going to see some crazy stuff. For example, this 217 eclipse, which is the Aquarius new moon. If you just take it simply, Aquarius's, its darker side is trauma, but it's the uplifting. One of the reasons that it's trauma, in my opinion, is that it's called the water bearer. It sort of exposes, it washes away. So it unveils, if you will. It's a revealing. It's very exposed. And then the sun in Aquarius is also extra exposed. Pluto's been in Aquarius for a little over a year now. We have entered the Aquarian age. And so with this Mars, Pluto, Sun, Mercury, and Venus is close enough that I'm going to say it's conjunct. And also Vesta is there, which is like your sacred flame. So for us, this is like a major catalyst. But again, that water bearer, that's being exposed. So people who aren't of a caliber, things are coming to the surface and they can't handle it. And I see that happening. And that's like the yogic predictions. You know, there's the Aquarian age. We'll see crazy people, dead people, or angelic people. We're already seeing it, right? I mean, people are freaking losing their heads. Be mindful of where you're being, quote, triggered, if you will, or something is being exposed that you're in denial about. And then you want to potentially lash out because Mars is coming into the mix. On a societal level, I expect something harsh. Now, Mars moves pretty fast, so it's conjunct for a few days, I don't know, a week or so. When this conjunction, certain aspects happen, things lock in. But we're feeling the volatility of this 217 eclipse already. And then the next eclipse is going to be the Virgo Pisces dynamic on March 3rd, and we have an intense blood moon eclipse. We're getting ready for eclipse season. In general, we just see stuff go off. This is when just because I'm in this, in the biz, you know, I get the messages of firings, divorces, moves, often good stuff too, like big shifts, big level ups, big changes. Remember, eclipse energy is generally closing the door on something and opening it up new. If you've been feeling shaky, unsettled, really do something to ground your nervous system. Any type of yoga is really good for that, whatever the system. Most of us are Americans. We're just sort of going through America's Pluto return. If you're in Europe, I don't know. There's something going to be probably with Greenland. Now, Mercury is in here. So I don't think it's war with Europe at all, but Mercury is precision. If something warlike happens, my prediction is that it would be super fast precision, almost like electrical circuitry warfare, something. We just know that when Mars, no matter the sign, when Mars and Pluto come together, that is very volatile. And for a lot of people, it's very violent. And now you mix in Aquarius, where these sort of upheavals of trauma, Mars for on planet Earth really gets misused, and it devolves into group consciousness of violence, anger, ridiculously rash decisions, but it's violent. And a lot of people are just operating at a certain frequency. A lot of people are being programmed in a way that we've never seen, thanks to, all the arenas in which people consume things and get super hyped up. We all know that. We probably all do it a little bit ourselves, so be mindful. Aquarius really is the high road. I was watching last year one astrologer, and she made a good point that the last time there was a 0 degree sun, exactly 0 degree sun and Pluto inauguration for the United States was I think it was James Monroe, he was around the third-ish, fourth president, whatever. I've actually been to his house in Virginia. That was when a lot of territory was taken or given or bought, however you want to phrase it, right? I don't want to hear about colonialism and stuff. The point is there was a lot of expansion. Now that happened to be Pisces at that time. Trump was inaugurated at 0 degrees. So that sort of locks in all of this Aquarian change, whoever would have been at that mantle. But if you take his descendant, a lot of astrologers are going to predict something bad happening to him, but you also can look at it, well, you start off at your rising and that's where you're moving into. Little bit like the nodes. If we have energy that could be world shakeup, well, what's the shakeup for you? Aquarius, one of the best things you could do is just wash away the past. The past is out. That's it. And just living your life based on your past, your traumas. You're too old for it now. That can't be the case anymore. I'm tired of listening to people trying to get into a relationship. This is such an example. Well, I'm waiting for this and that, and then my past, and I can't open up because the relationships I had in the past. I know so many people who have been in relationships where the person, died, left them totally traumatized, all sorts of stuff. I get it. It's not being uncompassionate to that, but the most compassionate thing you could do to yourself in general is just start to move on. And this is just going to help us do that so easily. And we're still in eclipse energy. So close those doors. There's a newness. It's a revolutionary energy is always the key word, but also like everybody has Aquarius somewhere in their chart. It's not like Aquariuses are running around constantly revolting. It just means that there's a new, clearer, lighter, brighter, smarter way. I was tracking some stuff with Uranus and Gemini, which is going to go back in a few months. We already touched on it, but with Pluto and Aquarius, those were when different worlds throughout history have met, when the Europe made it to South America and conquistadors and things like that. Now that's very conquering, but I think that we will soon actually have officially recognized, whatever that might mean nowadays, contact with aliens. I mean, it's all out. We all know it, but I think the reality, if as they're calling them biologics now, that there's crashes with an alien in it, and it's been on the news a lot. We also have a lot of fracture, which is very Aquarian, right? But Aquarius is you stepping into your own power. This is definitely going to be alien contact. A lot of people will choose not to believe it. So I want to read some key words for Aquarius out of Jeffrey Wolf's Green. It's the Evolutionary Astrologer Handbook. And I kind of like this exercise. So he has labeled Aquarius, Uranus, or the 11th house. This says a lot. Liberation from conditioning. That's what people are getting used to. Everybody is conditioned to, in some version, serve a master. And now this is you at a higher capacity, but it's also of higher service to the world and humanity. But again, service to your own you. But this is more your higher and evolved self. Individuality, individuation. So this is sort of the energy of you really come into your own and sort of your power, if you will, or your abilities in a new way. And so this is where the old you doesn't really serve. It's not this transformation. It's just this huge gradial shift. And if you're of the caliber for it and your nervous system is strong enough and your consciousness, it's a more advanced energy. Well, you're going to just, as people like to say now, ascend, but you'll level up. Rebellion. Yes, I'm just like getting overwhelmed hearing that sometimes. Well, I guess I'm not overwhelmed, but I'm just sick of it because I'm telling you, it's not like Aquarius energy all day, every day. It's like, how do I revolt from this? It's just like all the Aries memes are always like Aries, just fighting. I don't think that's always the case. So it's just like, or Cancer is always crying, like group hysteria, like-minded groups. We're already seeing that. Minneapolis is probably just scratching the surface here. Hopes and ideals. I think there's a very negative energy, especially if you just obsess on Minneapolis and all of that that's going on because of all of the tie-in to the star card, which is Aquarius. Aquarius is hopes and ideals. It's like a malignant inertia that is destroying people's hopes and ideals and dreams. Or for us, we're super hopeful. And hope is different than just wishing, right? There's sort of a faith and a conviction. And that's what just having the strong system will help you with. Anarchist, tribes, community, fragmentation. You see these all sort of mean one thing or it's the opposite. Trauma, mass trauma, splitting, shocking, right? Hyperactivity. It's really brilliant energy. Not everyone's ready. Not everyone's ready for change. If we look at a sort of global level, we've seen now, especially the last couple of years, just old structures, old institutions, experts, governments still holding on to the old ways, which are very oppressive overall. This energy now is trying to change that. But a lot of people are just a false notion of despair, the fragmentation. But what does that mean for you? Where are you sort of scattered? Where are the parts of you not connecting? Okay, this is meant to make your life whole and to rise above and to really excel in a new way. We harness this and channel all of this change energy, change for the better for us. Pluto is massive transformation. Mars is right action when used appropriately and is vigor, and it's a very inspiring energy and it's courageous. But we're in a 10-year. So a lot of people are going to be delusionally courageous. We're already seeing that all around. World leaders will be toppled. Let's be visionaries for our life. Let's wash away the past. This is a card of hope and things coming together, crystallizing, things really working out. If you go through the tarot, you'll see the fixed signs, which are 5, 6, and 7. So that's going to be Aquarius, Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. Most of them, the 5 and 7 becomes a little unstable, and so you see generally sort of negative cards. That doesn't mean Moon in Aquarius always means futility. It's just the way the flow of energy is in the tree of life, and I made videos explaining that. But you can see this sort of brittle futility here, and Aquarius energy becomes futile when you're not willing to change and grow and expand. And it's a fixed energy. So that means that this fixed energy just decided to stay fixed and stagnant. So the freedom of Aquarius is real, has to be very empowered. Lean into the cosmos. Aquarian energy is the cosmos, and it gives you great vision and what creates powerful harmony. Like I often describe it as you're having a blissful day, walking around barefoot, and then you walk down a dirty alley and it's broken glass and garbage and syringe needles or something because you're in Venice Beach. You got to have some wherewithal, have your wits about you. Do not get caught up in a group crazy at all. Aquarius will be described as community or then tribe. But that becomes like, again, tribes. When you hear tribes, if you really think about it, and throughout history, that always meant like war. Tribes usually, like all, world human psyche history is like everyone's fighting everybody. We're seeing it now. So these eclipses are going to bring some big stuff. But for us, it's going to bring shifts, change, and it's kind of an awesome energy. I think the simplest thing is, wow. You're probably feeling it. And if you feel like anxious or volatile, you gotta start. You gotta work on something. You ground a lot of that energy by doing something and putting it into action. But this energy, because it's so disruptive and volatile, what are you disrupting in your life in a positive and healthy way? I think this practice is great for that, because, or you're starting something new to expand yourself, you're cleaning up an old project. I'm making it fun. And that's really important. And that's really important in the 10 years, all your worldly tasks, just allow them to be fun. Aquarius is such an inspired, visionary, brilliant energy. Not everyone wants to be visionary, brilliant, and inspired. A lot of people want to sit in their old ways, and those are the people that crack on some version of that, because you won't adapt, because it is a fixed sign, and then you will lock in a stagnation. And again, what is the vice of the 10 years? Inertia, not really getting the ball going. So this is our nice push.